Denise.
I'm going to represent Sarah when it gets to that point.
I understand. There we go. There we go. There we go. It is Indiana in the morning. It's WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, and WCCSradio.com. And good morning to you. Thanks so much for being with us here today.
Thank
Just
you
need to
for
check
having
one
us,
thing
Todd.
in my computer as we. It's 12 minutes after 9 o'clock right now. Let me check this one thing. Make sure that I'm good on it. Yeah. Okay. So we can close that file and open up a brand new one as we talk to some folks from AARP. They have put on a series of wonderful events every month, and always an interesting topic. And the topic this time is going to be, well, the month of May is National Speech and Hearing Month. We're going to talk about that. We have Denise Dougherty. Okay, I have to stop it right now because there are Doughertys, there are Doughertys, and they all spell it the same way. So Denise, which one are you?
It's Dougherty.
You're a Dougherty.
I'm a Dougherty.
All right, very good. And also with us this morning is Patricia Wood. Good morning.
Good morning, Todd. Thank you for having us.
It is our pleasure to have you in the studio with us. Our visit is presented by Marcus & Mack, voted Best Law Firm and Best Personal Injury Lawyer 3 years in a row in the Best of Indiana County contest. You can visit them online at marcusandmack.com. So the next conversation is going to be on May the 20th, right?
Yes. Yes. I just wanted to briefly say, Todd, that a lot of people aren't aware of the fact that they've heard of AARP.
Mm-hmm.
They know that it's there for the seniors, but they really don't know what it's all about. And I just wanted to point out that there's a national AARP, a state AARP, and a local. The local actually is the one that gets involved with a lot of the community functions and events.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that we put on is the AARP 1 o'clock series.
Yeah.
And each month we have a different topic and a different speaker. And it's here to help the seniors learn what's available to them. Our motto is, Denise, do you remember? It's to serve and not be served.
Okay.
And our mission statement is to empower people to choose, Denise, how to live as they age. So our topics are usually along that line.
Yeah.
Okay?
To serve and not be served. People might be confused by that. To serve and not be served simply means don't sit around and wait for others to do things for you. Be somebody who's going to step up there and do things for yourself when you can. Certainly you accept help when you need to be helped in some way, but to be somebody who's active in their own life.
Absolutely.
We can sit back and we can let things happen for us, but it's much better to be an active participant.
Right, and I think that's why Denise and I are involved.
Yeah.
This is my second year, her first year. She's actually our president this year.
Uh-huh.
And so what a fitting time for Speech and Hearing Month to have a speech pathologist right in our own little community of AARP,
Sure.
which is Denise.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to let Denise talk about what she is going to maybe briefly touch base on what's going to happen at her part of the presentation on May the 20th.
May the 20th, the community room at Indiana Mall is where this takes place.
Yes, it's kind of in the center next to Kay's Jewelers.
Yeah, okay. So Denise, you're on stage.
I'm on. What's very confusing for people whenever they're told they need a speech evaluation is they often say, I speak just fine.
Mm-hmm.
And there is such a broad area of things that speech pathologists work with. So one could be, we need to work on your speech to help with your correct articulation so we can understand you, your word finding.
Mm-hmm.
But we also work with a swallowing disorder, and that's called dysphagia. So often we have to look at modifying your diet because you can't handle regular food, your muscles are too weak, it's not a safe swallow. So we have to either do the ground foods, or we have to do puree. And it's just to help you with the safe swallow because you don't have the energy or the strength in the muscles to process the food and do it well.
Mm-hmm.
We also may have to thicken in your liquids. And the reason for that is we have to slow down the liquids to match the speed of your swallow. So you might have, listeners might have had people that they know who had mildly thick or nectar liquids, or honey thick or moderately thick liquids, or if it's a very severe problem, it's pudding thick liquids. So there's reasons and rationale of why we might do a diet modification.
Mm-hmm.
And part of what we do is called a modified barium swallow, and that's an x-ray of your swallow so we can actually see how the muscles function.
Uh-huh.
And that helps us determine our treatment plan, what exercises we want to use
Mhm.
to improve the swallow as much as we can. We also work with cognition, so sometimes the individual might have problems with word finding or memory or their attention to task or problem solving. So we can do an evaluation to see where their deficits are, how severe they are, and then again put together a treatment plan with exercises in our visits, as well as things they can do in between. And one of the other things that we do with the older population, and this is also for younger individuals, but you could have respiratory muscle weakness. So you don't have the strength and energy to take in a deep enough breath to support your speech. You run out of air when you're talking, or whenever you're getting dressed or doing your activities of daily living, you have to take a break because you're short of breath.
Yeah.
So there's multiple areas that when the doctor says you need a speech evaluation, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a problem with you speaking per se. It could be a host of other issues.
Yeah, and I would guess, Denise, that there are sometimes folks who aren't even aware
Absolutely.
of the problem, and not quite understanding why aren't people understanding, because they, in their brains, they're hearing
Right.
everything formed perfectly.
Right. So they think they're saying what they need to say, but it's just a very confusing verbal response that we get. With the swallow, as you age, your swallow changes. So it's a very gradual process. So for the individual and their family, it looks normal. That's how they've always swallowed. But they're not recognizing that there is a problem that we need to address.
Yeah, yeah. Now, Patty, a part of the program on Tuesday the 20th is going to as well be hearing.
Yes.
And you're going to have Dr. Sarah Weber for that.
Correct. She is an audiologist, and she is with Indiana Audiology. She used to be over on Water Street, and a lot of the people in Indiana kind of remember Donna Zork, which is who the original owner was of Indiana Audiology.
Mm-hmm.
And her little hobby was collecting hanging clothes hangers of various types, sizes, comical ones with pictures on them, and then Sarah took over. But just now in January, Sarah had to move her office, and she's down on South 6th Street now. So unfortunately, I don't know where those hangers went to, but I know a lot of people commented, "Oh, when you move, I'm gonna miss that." Looking at all the new hangers out there.
Yeah.
But her topics are going to be over-the-counter hearing aids versus professional hearing aids or prescription hearing aids. And then, why do you need a professional hearing test? And I'm going to tell you my reason and how I know Sarah is, when I met my husband, he wasn't even 30 yet. And I said, you're going to have to go for a hearing test because you're not hearing me. I'm not 30. I don't have a hearing loss. I'm not old enough that wear hearing aids.
Sure.
So when we went, we found out that his hearing loss was not due to nerve damage, which is what most people wear hearing aids for.
Mm-hmm.
He had what they called a conductive hearing loss, which meant that something medically in the inner ear was not working, and she sent us to Pittsburgh, and we found out that he had a frozen staples. He had to have what they call a stapendectomy, where they replace a bone in your inner ear that vibrates the sound with a titanium one. So there are many reasons why. Another reason could be you just have impacted wax. And sometimes the PC doctor may not even look in your ear to look for impacted wax. So it's always best if someone says you're not hearing me to go to a hearing specialist. Let her look in, or him look in your ears, see what's going on, give you a test. And you might be surprised. I had one time someone say to me, she kept telling me I have a hearing loss. It wasn't him that had the hearing loss, it was the wife that had the hearing
yeah.
loss. So you just never know. So I'm looking forward to hearing, letting the public know, and that's another thing. The AARP is a membership organization, but this 1 o'clock series is open to the public. So therefore, it's good that the public can find out about these things out there that they may not be aware of, and it might be a prompt to have them
Sure.
get their hearing checked.
Yeah, and it's a wonderful idea, and these sorts of events that AARP does, always intended to benefit folks and help to improve their lives. And so, Denise, you'll be speaking next
Yes.
Tuesday, and then we'll also have
Dr. Weber?
Dr. Weber. She'll be talking as well. I said
Right.
Tuesday. Is it Tuesday?
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
It's next Tuesday, the 20th.
Yes.
All right, so that will be happening, and the time is 1 o'clock?
Yes.
Of course, it's the 1 o'clock series. Ta-da!
And then I just wanted to touch base that we have on June, we actually have lined up pretty much at the end of our 1 o'clock series are every month. But we take the summer as a hiatus. Everybody's busy in July
Sure.
and August. So we try to get Mary Bach in, and she is our representative with AARP, but she's nationally known as a consumer advocate. And she talks about different things for the seniors. One of the tips that she gave us at last year's that I never thought about was your key fobbers. You know how you have that emergency push button that everybody hates when you accidentally hit it?
Sure.
Take that and put that beside your bedstand at night.
Mm-hmm.
And if you hear a strange noise, just press that. And that's going to wake up the neighborhood. So if you've got something going on, or you need a medical assistance and you can't get to the phone, that's a good way of getting your neighbor's attention.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to hearing what her tips are going to be this year.
So when is
for
she
this-
coming?
She's coming in June
June.
17th.
All right.
Yeah.
So we'll look forward to that. We'll look forward to another visit to talk about
Well,
that.
we're hoping that Mary, we understand that, or I understand that she does do your radio interviews.
Yeah, yeah.
So hopefully she will be able to be here.
I
or
remember
at
her
least-
from last year.
Or, yeah, so we're hoping to get her in for next month.
All right, so there you go. 1 o'clock next Tuesday, Indiana Mall in the community room. It is the next in the series of 1 o'clock speaking engagements for AARP. And this one has to do with speech and hearing. Ladies, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Coming to visit.
Thank you.
We appreciate your coming. It is Indiana in the Morning on WCCS. 9:25 in the morning. Boomer Sports next, brought to you by S&T Bank, People Forward Banking.
At S&T, it's more than
There
just
we go, ladies. Thank you.
financial
Thank
programs.
you.
Making people
You have a
like
good
this
day.
and what you
I
see
will do my
at
best.
S&T.